All right, guys, so we got to talk about New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who ran as a so-called moderate, right? I'm a tough on crime moderate. I'm not like these progressives over here, right, that want to allow crime, right, and criminals to run the city. However, since this guy's been in office, which has been about, what, a week, right? This dude has revealed himself to be a flat-out radical leftist, right? This dude is a radical progressive, as he recently came out in support of letting non-citizens vote. Yes, this man supports letting non-citizens vote in New York City's local elections. Now, this idea is so ridiculous and so asinine that even Jake Tapper on CNN wasn't having it and pressed Eric Adams on why the hell do you support non-citizens voting in our elections. Take a look.
You announced last night that you're going to support a law passed last month in New York City, which will allow roughly 800,000 legal non-citizens to vote in local elections, provided that they've lived in New York for at least 30 days. You previously called the bill problematic and expressed concern about giving a right to vote to non-citizens who have only been here for a short amount of time. I think there are a lot of Americans watching right now who might share your concerns and also have more broadly questions about the idea of people who have not taken a citizenship test, prepared for that test by learning about the U.S., who haven't sworn an oath to the country, getting to vote. Why did you change your mind, and why is it acceptable for non-citizens to vote in an American election?
No, I did not change my mind. I supported the concept of the bill. The one aspect of that I had a problem with, and I thought was problematic, was the 30-day part of being in the country for 30 days was the place that I had questions. And I sat down with my colleagues. I'm a big believer in conversation. We have to start talking to each other and not at each other. And after hearing their rationale and their theories behind it, I thought it was more important to not veto the bill or get in the way at all and allow the bill to move forward. In New York City, just Brooklyn, for example, 47% of Brooklynites speak a language other than English at home when I was the borough president. And so I think it's imperative that people who are in a local municipality have the right to decide who's going to govern them. And I support the overall concept of that bill.
Doesn't the bill just make a mockery of the idea of American citizenship, though? I mean, this is just for local elections, but does that mean, like, next New York City is going to want non-citizens to vote in federal elections? I mean, and what do you say to all the people who went through the process, the difficult process of becoming an American citizen, studying for the test, swearing an oath of allegiance to the United States of America, who now see this legislation just saying, well, anyone who's here, you can go ahead and vote?
Well, I say to them, keep doing it. Membership has its privileges. Being a member of what we call the United States of America is a great privilege. And I would tell them, keep doing it, be encouraged. This is a great opportunity to be a member of this great country. Don't let anything daunt you or take you away from that mission. This legislation is not going to do that. Keep becoming a citizen of this country.
Bruh, this dude is full of shit. Okay, I'm sorry. That's the best way I can describe it. This dude is full of it, and he had me fooled. He had me fooled because when Eric Adams was running for mayor of New York City, right, the way he marketed himself as a moderate, tough on crime Democrat, I was like, okay, this guy right here, if he can turn New York City around, if he can clean up the crime, he might be in line to run for president one day, right? He's somebody I could see Democrats and Republicans get behind, right? I really thought that, like, okay, this dude might really have a future, okay? He had me fooled. But now, considering how his first day in office, this dude extends the authoritarian vaccine mandates in New York City. Now he's allowing non-citizens to vote. This dude seems to be a flat-out progressive. That's what he is. And he also has what it seems to be some corruption and some nepotism issues going on as well, too, that we're going to talk about a little bit. But yeah, this dude's a flat-out radical, because anybody that supports allowing non-citizens to vote in our elections is a radical, right? They're a far-left radical. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. It is disrespectful, not just to American citizens, okay, but also to people who are seeking citizenship, who worked hard to get and earn citizenship in this country, that had to learn, that had to take that test, that had to pass that test to get citizenship in this country. It is a slap in the face to those people to allow non-citizens to vote. It just is. Jake Tapper is right. Okay? And when CNN is pressing you on an issue like this, right, as a Democrat, you know that you're not on the right side. Okay? When CNN is pressing a Democrat on an issue, you know the issue is messed up, right? You know it's messed up. This guy right here, man, I want to say I don't believe it. I can't believe it, but this is the Democrats, right? Even their so-called moderates are just beyond the pale, right? They're just beyond the pale. Okay, that's just what it is. That's just what it is. And I'm telling you guys, this is what mainstream Democrats want. They want non-citizens to vote. This is just one step closer to illegals voting, because right now they call them legal non-citizens, which basically means DACA recipients, green card holders, people here on work permits. That's what it means, right? Legal non-citizens. That's what that means, right? This is one step closer to what the Democrats actually really want, which is to allow illegals to vote, right? That's what they really want. This is why I don't trust the Democrats on anything having to do with so-called voting rights, because voting rights really stands for illegal voting rights, right? That's what it stands for. Non-citizens and illegals voting in our elections. That's what the Democrats are about, right? And this dude is flat out showing you this is what we're about, okay? Dude said I had a meeting to hear my colleagues out, and you let these activists, right? Because that's what they are. You let these activists convince you not to veto this bill that, in my opinion, I don't understand how it's even constitutional, right? You let activists convince you not to veto this piece of trash legislation. Dude, just soft, right? And if you can't veto this, and if you get bullied on this by activists, how am I supposed to trust you to fight crime? You're allowing non-citizens to vote, right? That's a crime in and of itself. So how can I trust you to fight crime and to clean up crime in New York City? I can't trust the guy, because this dude supports a woke DA, Alvin Bragg, okay, of New York City, that basically is like all these other woke Soros-backed prosecutors in the country that is being soft on crime, right? They're trying to downgrade armed robbery to petty larceny. Other crimes like burglary, they're downgrading that as well. Okay, resisting arrest. They're no longer going to be prosecuting people who are resisting arrest, according to a memo released by this guy. Okay, does that sound like being tough on crime, being able to resist arrest, being able to rob somebody with a weapon armed and not get charged with a felony, have it downgraded to petty larceny? Okay, does that sound tough on crime? That don't sound tough on crime to me. This dude is a phony, okay? And also to top it off, the dude also has some nepotism accusations going on, as this dude has basically promoted his brother, a retired cop, to a high-level leadership position within the New York City Police Department. Apparently, he's promoting his brother, appointing his brother to be deputy police commissioner. Dude was a retired cop, right? I don't even think he been in the force for like 10 years. And Mayor Eric Adams was like, oh, here you go, here's a job. Here's a $250,000 a year, right? So the dude is not only a liar, he seems to also be corrupt as well too. And he's a race baiter, because when defending him putting his brother in that position, he said, well, I got to put my brother in this position because he got to help us fight the white supremacists, right? He has to help us fight the white supremacist guys. That's what this man said. He really said that. Bruh, I cannot believe it. But I can believe it, because the Democrats, they are sneaky, right? They say one thing and then they do another. And, you know, I thought that New York City was making a sane choice, because, I mean, let's be real. Republican has no chance in modern day New York City of winning. So the next best thing will be a moderate Democrat or conservative Democrat. This guy framed himself as that. But as soon as this man got in office, he's revealed himself to be what he actually is, which is a radical, right? A radical progressive who's not going to be as tough on crime as he claimed, right? So, I mean, they're basically getting de Blasio 2.0. That's what this guy is. He's de Blasio 2.0. Bruh. Hey, it is what it is. It ain't my city, right? It ain't my city. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.